Hi everyone. Before Jesus ascended into heaven, He gave His church the Great Commission to reach out and make disciples. We believe that disciple making is best achieved through relationships. And relationships, on the other hand, are most effectively developed in small groups. Meeting in small groups to build relationships is not just a good idea, it is actually a God idea. In the New Testament church in the book of Acts, the believers gathered regularly in the temple courts, a large group, and they also gathered regularly in their homes, small groups. In Bethany, our small groups are our carousels, and the optimum size of a carousel is between 5 to 12 regular attendees. Carousels are not merely another ministry among other ministries in Bethany. We are not simply a church with small groups, but rather a church of small groups. The life of Bethany flows in and through our carousels. The main objective of the carousel is to form a biblically functioning community. It's a place where healthy relationships are formed. In Bethany, we have 5 core values with the acronym HEART: humble hearts, excellent spirit, authentic relationships, relentless faith, thriving leadership. In Bethany, we believe that our carousels are the most powerful vehicle to help us build the core value of authentic relationships with one another. It's all about building meaningful relationships. It's all about doing life together. In order for authentic relationships to take place, there are 5 virtues that we must adopt in our carousels in Bethany. Let's go through these 5 virtues together. Number 1, a carousel with authentic relationships is firstly a safe place. It's a place where we can be open and vulnerable without being judged. It's a place where we are accepted for all our imperfections. None of us live perfect lives. We all have weaknesses. We all go through disappointments, pain, and failures. All these setbacks can cause us to feel discouraged, defeated, and even be insecure. Therefore, our carousels need to be a place where people can be accepted, be open, and vulnerable without being judged. Consider Jesus. He was called a friend of sinners. He never rejected anyone, be it the woman at the well who was a grave sinner, Zacchaeus who had a major character flaw, or the leper who had a great need. Jesus accepts everyone, and so must we, in order to make our carousel a safe place. A safe place is also a place where we don't have to put on a religious hat, but simply be ourselves. You know, sometimes when we gather together in a church gathering, we feel that we need to put on a religious facade, play a certain role, or behave in a certain way. The truth of the matter is this: when we relate to each other, we don't need to put on a religious mask. We need to be real with one another. We need to simply be ourselves and connect with each other to the best of our ability with kingdom values. The second virtue of a carousel is this: it is a caring place. Jesus commands us to love one another as He has loved us. And when there is a spirit of love in our carousels, it means we will genuinely care for one another. A caring place is a place where we carry each other's burdens to the point where it's possible to lose sleep over it. Think about it. Is it possible to lose sleep over our personal burdens? Yes. Is it possible to lose sleep when we carry other people's burdens? Yes. And who are the people who can cause us to lose sleep over? Simple answer. It's the people who are close to us and matters to us. This is the main thrust of this point. When we meaningfully connect with each other in the cell, we will naturally carry each other's burdens voluntarily. Next, a caring place is where we care for each other, not just with words, but with actions. The famous quote, "Talk is cheap." It's true, isn't it? It's easy to just talk, but genuine care for others is authenticated by sacrificial action. Over the years, I've heard of so many beautiful stories of how our care cell members have cared for each other. Cell members doing rotational hospital visitations when someone is admitted. Cell members who prepared nutritious soup for a sick cell member. Cell members who pool together finances to help someone in their need. Cell members take turns to babysit each other's young children. Cell members staying up to the wee hours of the morning to provide emotional support in a wake service. 1 John 3:18 commands us to not just merely say that we love each other, but to love each other with our actions. A caring place is also a place where it is often more important to have a listening ear than to prescribe a solution. The reality is that many of the burdens that we carry in life can be very complex. Very often, there isn't a simple solution. It is in times like this that the right thing to do in ourselves is not to give additional advice to others, but rather to offer a shoulder to cry on or to provide a listening ear. A cell is a caring place. Let's move on. The third virtue that builds authentic relationships is this: the care cell is a frequented place. This is where the care cell is a home, not a hotel. We visit hotels infrequently when we are either on vacation or for business purposes. On the other hand, we return to our homes daily. Don't look at the care cell as a place where you visit only when you feel like it, or when it's convenient, or when you feel less tired, or visit the cell only when you have a need or a problem, or perhaps during a special cell occasion. The care cell is a family made up of brothers and sisters in Christ. No doubt, a healthy family will gather together for special occasions like Christmas, Chinese New Year, or to celebrate mom's birthday. But a truly healthy family does not depend on special occasions to come together. A truly healthy family will always make it a point and have the discipline to gather frequently. For our care cells here, the frequency of our gatherings are on a weekly basis. If we desire to build authentic and meaningful relationships with one another, then the care cell needs to be a frequented place where realistically, quality relationships cannot be achieved without quantity time together. And when out of sight is out of mind. So, let's be real. It's practically impossible to make the cell a safe place and a caring place if it is not a frequented place. The last thing that we want to see in our care cells are just warm bodies coming together irregularly and souls that are disconnected to each other. If your care cell is to succeed, you need to be committed to be in your weekly cell gatherings. This leads us to the fourth virtue of a care cell. The care cell is a breakthrough place. Gathering in a small group is not just a social gathering. It is the gathering of a people of faith who have one common purpose: to glorify God together. This is where faith has a powerful multiplying effect when activated with others. Jesus said in Matthew 18 that if two of you agree about anything they ask, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. Of course, this verse does not mean that we cannot pray alone by ourselves, but Jesus was teaching that the power of prayer is amplified when it is in agreement with other people. A breakthrough place is where miracles happen through regular and persistent prayer. Question: where is the place where we can pray for our needs regularly and persistently together in agreement with others? It's in our carousels. This is where united, faith-filled prayers can be activated in our weekly carousel gathering. The cell is a powerhouse where miracles are conceived, where breakthroughs are activated, and where answers to prayers are the norm in the life of the carousel. The carousel is also a place of breakthrough, where we realize that God often uses people to touch people. We are not called to live isolated lives. When we read the scriptures, one common thread emerges very clearly. More often than not, when God decides to touch someone's life, He chooses to do it through a human vessel. God's standard operating procedure, SOP, seems to be very clear. He often uses people to touch people. Hence, we can expect that many of the breakthroughs that we will receive from God will be through our carousel members as they activate their faith to help us in our time of need. Finally, the fifth virtue of the carousel is this: it is a happy place. Now, I didn't say happy hour. I said the carousel is a happy place. A place where we can let down our hair, enjoy each other's company, and build fond memories together. Life is to be enjoyed, and life will be more enjoyable when we are able to share it together with people we care about. In the carousel, we laugh together, we sing together, we eat together, we have getaways together, we see singles becoming married together, we see our children growing up together, and we also grow old together. At the same time, the carousel is a happy place because each person takes personal responsibility for their behavior and determines to get along with everyone to the best of their ability. It's a place where so much grace is being dispensed until it's impossible to be offended by others. Everyone has their own flaws and weird temperaments. If you don't believe me, just take a look at the mirror. And the flaws of others may rub us in the wrong way. That's why Romans 12:18 says, "Do all that you can to live in peace with everyone." One of the hallmark of spiritual maturity is simply our ability to refuse to be offended by others and to get along with everyone. After all, the Bible teaches us to have fervent love for one another, for love will cover a multitude of sin. When we adopt this gracious attitude in our cell, it becomes a happy place. And this leads us to the carousel being a happy place where we don't have to be best friends, but we are definitely good friends. Most people only have a few best friends, if any at all. The point I'm making here is that as we intentionally work towards building meaningful relationships with our carousel members, it will inevitably lead to genuine friendships. The book of Proverbs tells us that it is possible for a friend who will stick closer to us than even a brother. To recap, the 5 virtues of carousels with authentic relationships are: number 1, a safe place; number 2, a caring place; number 3, a frequented place; number 4, a breakthrough place; and number 5, a happy place. When all these 5 virtues are in place in our carousels, it's going to be a great blessing to all of us. We will find ourselves in a community of like-minded friends, a place where we can be accepted, loved, receive encouragement, experience breakthrough, and find joy. And on top of that, can you imagine how powerful we will become in reaching out to others? When these 5 virtues are in place, the Spirit of God will be so evident in our carousels that we will become so attractive to an unbelieving world. I want to encourage all of you here who are already part of a carousel. The carousel cannot achieve its fullest potential without you. Your carousel leaders and zone leaders cannot do it by themselves. Let us all take personal responsibility. Be committed to make the cell a safe place and a caring place. Be regular in your weekly gathering. Activate faith together to experience breakthrough for one another. Together, make the cell a happy place. Now, for those of you who are not yet part of a carousel, I want to invite you to join us. God has not designed us to live independently, but rather interdependently in a biblical community through small groups. We are stronger together. It pleases our Father's heart to see His children coming together. And together, we become an effective harvest force to reach out to others. And it is in this place of togetherness we will receive God's blessings, His love, His peace, His joy. May God bless all of you, and may God bless our amazing carousels.